Prime Minister, have you been able to get an up-to-date briefing on the refinery fire and any specifics about its impact on petrol supply?
I have been briefed. It is not fully clear, the picture, but we know that there will be some disruption of supplies, particularly of petrol and avgas, but avgas that is used by smaller planes, of which there is substantial supply going forward. So petrol will be reassessed over the next 48 hours. The good news, of course, is that no one was harmed in this incident. And thank you to the firefighters who showed once again why we rely upon them each and every day.
Well, there's a long history attached to the closure of other refineries, but has this incident galvanised you into considering pushing for new refineries as critical national infrastructure?
We certainly are looking at the whole issue of fuel security. We've been doing that since we came to office. That's why we brought back our reserves from Texas to Australia. Had we not done that, we wouldn't have had the largest supplies in 15 years, which is what we had at the beginning of this global crisis.
But what about refineries in particular?
Well, we'll look at the full range of issues when it comes to our fuel security. Clearly, we have been doing measures, but clearly there's a need for more to do. We inherited a system where 4 out of the 6 refineries, of course, closed under the former government.
You've made a series of announcements about extra or guaranteed access to fuels and fertilisers on this trip. How do you tote up the gains from your travels?
No government can say that they can fully protect their country from the impact that this is having right around the world. What we can promise to do is to make every effort, both domestically and internationally, to shield Australians from the worst impact of this global crisis. And so today's announcement of 100 million litres of fuel, and particularly being diesel, which is what we most need, 50 million litres from Korea and 50 million from Brunei in 2 ships, as a direct result of the work that we put in place through Export Finance Australia, will make a substantial difference.
So everyone in the world is now scrambling for fuel. Are you prepared to source petrol from Iran or Russia?
Our sanctions remain in place. We have sourced the fuel from Brunei and Korea, and that will make a difference. In addition to that, we've done work with Singapore, with Brunei and Malaysia, but we're also talking with Korea. I've spoken with the Chinese Premier. We're speaking to Japan. We're engaged in our region, and as well we're engaged with Indonesia. I had contact with Indonesia today about further issues that might be advanced in coming days. So we're working right across the board, whether it's diesel and other forms of fuel, whether it be fertiliser, the products that we need in Australia. We're working with our friends and achieving results and outcomes as a result of really the investment that we've put in over the last 4 years, building those relationships.
You're having to basically buy from non-traditional markets, aren't you?
Well, we have traditional relationships, of course, with Korea and Brunei, but what this is on top of our existing contracted supplies. This is off the spot market, and by underwriting that supply, we're able to encourage the private sector to engage with the confidence that underwriting from government brings.
Would Australia ever pay tolls to Iran, or are we seeking reassurances that markets we buy from haven't done so?
Well, we are seeking a position globally, which is that freedom of navigation under the UN Convention of the Law of the Sea should apply. This is important. This is a principle that we've stood up for in the South China Sea, in our region, is very important. So we'll continue to advocate for that. We want to see de-escalation. We want to see the conflict end. We want to see a permanent resolution which is peaceful, but also which allows for the resumption of normal economic trade.
You can't really be absolutely sure about the original source of a lot of this oil, can you? I mean, for example, you know, stuff that's come out of the shadow fleet into some refineries in the region. China's getting oil from Iran still. Oil's coming to Malaysia from Iran. You just have to basically take people's word for it?
What we can be certain of is that we'll engage with our friends and that our sanctions remain in place.
The agreement signed with Malaysia today talks about a no surprises approach to energy trading. Have you told Prime Minister Ibrahim that any new tax on gas will not apply to Malaysia?
No, we had no discussions about our budget issues, and they'll be an issue that we'll consider in the lead up to next May.
Do you have any more trips planned? Are there any more places you can go looking for some more energy?
It has been a busy time. I will do whatever is in Australia's national interest. This is a difficult time, but we are preparing for the potential for issues to continue to be around for some time. And one of the things that we know, and Australians know, is that this is a turbulent period in which there have been moving parts. And in the morning, we wake up and find out that statements or declarations have been made overseas that have an impact here. Now, Australia is not a party to this conflict, but we're impacted by it, just as our region is. We speak about the Strait of Hormuz cutting out about 20% of the global fuel supply, but importantly, the impact on Asia and on our region is much higher than that, because it is this region that most of that fuel was headed towards.
Well, you find yourself here begging for fuel now thanks to Donald Trump and what many commentators believe is an illegal war. Has the time come for world leaders to more directly call out Mr. Trump's erratic behaviour, given the catastrophic ramifications it's having around the globe?
Well, we have an important relationship with the United States. I act respectfully towards all leaders, and I continue to engage constructively with President Trump and his administration, and I do so in Australia's national interest.
He hasn't necessarily been dealing respectfully with the rest of the world, though, has he?
Well, what I do is to engage respectfully. That's what Australians would expect, and the relationship with the United States is a relationship between leaders, but importantly, it's a relationship between populations as well, based upon our values as two great democracies. And of course, our national security interests are very much linked with the United States as well. We've been partners since John Curtin, a look towards the United States in World War II, and that will continue into the future.
You did seem to welcome the Pope's intervention today when you were asked about it at the press conference.
Well, I respect the Pope, and the Holy Father has a right to make comments as past leaders of the Church have, and that's not a comment on President Trump's comments are a matter for him. But I respect the Holy Father, and it's been one of the honours of my life to have an audience with Pope Leo just after the inaugural Mass that he gave at the Vatican.
How concerned are you that the US actions in Iran have not just distracted it from its strategic position in the Asia-Pacific, but also run down supplies of defensive weaponry upon which we and our allies are relying?
Well, we have released, of course, our defence strategy for 2026 just today. That envisages more than $50 billion of additional investment over the next decade. It's about us becoming more self-reliant as well. When you look at the assets that we are purchasing and making up for what was really a lost decade under the coalition, we are advancing our interests in defence strongly. Part of that is the relationship with the United States, but it's also about us becoming more self-reliant.
But that's for the next decade. Most assessments are that there's been a critical rundown in those defensive weapons. Countries like Japan, Taiwan are alarmed about it, our allies. would you like to see this this addressed somehow more urgently by the United States?
Well, that's a matter for the United States. My job is to look after Australia's defence policy, and I have a Deputy Prime Minister who is certainly doing that. Together with Patrick Conroy, they're doing a fantastic job.
Prime Minister, thanks for your time tonight.
Thanks very much, Laura.